So after the video that I did on the scale control thing, the white canister, I thought I'd follow up with the latest installment 5 years later, where they don't sell that white canister thing anymore. So now you've got to use these Scale Control R cans. 245 quid for the setup kit, and I have really struggled. So I thought I'd share my experience for any non-plumbers out there who fancied giving it a go themselves. So first of all, I'm just going to show you or remind you what my current setup looks like. I'm going to remove the pipe work obviously later on, but we've got a main supply coming in here which goes down this white pipe up into the old scale control thing, through this valve with a little black elephant's trunk coming off the bottom of it, and from there directly into the hot water tank. So that's the setup as is. Everyone's setup might be slightly different, but this is mine, and this is for a Pro 3 VAQ. So mains, then it's sort of softener, then through the valve, and then into the tank. Okay, remember that. So when you receive your starter package, it will contain the big silver tank with a filter system inside, which has got one long hose and one short hose coming off it. You'll also get 3 little brass nuts. Now, they don't tell you what they're for at that stage, and they don't tell you what they're for later, but I can tell you that I've called them C, A and B, and there they are, C, A and B. Slightly different. That one's got 2 lines around the middle of it. That one's got a screw bit, and that one's smooth. This one I've still not discovered what on earth it's for, and they also come with these various different washers, 3 little blue ones and 1 red one. Now, in the instructions that you can also download, although don't come with the actual tank, this is uninstalling the Scale Control Plus with a Pro 3E, which basically applies to me. And as you can see in the picture, here we are, slightly different, but similar setup. So mains into the canister, through the valve, and then into the tank. Yep. This bit next to it, they don't really go into too much, and I can tell you from experience that this little bit is absolutely fundamental to the workings of your new setup, and they do not provide that. Now, in the instructions for the installation of the Scale Control R with the Pro 3E instructions, as you can see from this picture, it is a completely different setup. You have got the mains on the left-hand side, then you have the valve, then it goes into the softener, and then it goes into the hot water tank. So now we've got mains, valve, softener, tank. Whereas before it was mains, softener, valve, tank. All right, you with me so far? Now, this little bit here, which I showed you before, which I said was quite critical, comes directly off the mains and connects you to the valve system. Now, this bit, I can tell you, when you finally figure out what the hell it is, looks like this when you buy it at the plumber's shop. You've basically got 2 what they call compression valves, either end, with a 1/2 inch screw female connection on both ends. This will then screw into the valve, and then you need a little bit of 15mm pipe to connect the 2 together. It's called a compression female iron coupling 15mm 1/2 inch, and you need 2 of them, and you need to buy a little bit of copper pipe, which typically only comes in 3-metre lengths, but luckily I met a very kind plumber in the store. Now, kit you are going to need various grippers, depends what you've got in the toolbox, and various adjustable spanners, unless you are lucky enough to have 21mm spanners in your toolkit, which I don't, so I then had to go and buy some adjustable spanners. So back to the Quooker tap, or the Quooker tank area. I'm going to try and turn on a torch here so we can see what we're looking at. It's a bit bright. There we go. Right. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dismantle all of the white piping underneath the sink, because it just makes it a lot easier to get to all the bits and pieces. I would strongly advise you get a bowl and put it underneath, and probably a towel in there as well, because this bit will be full of water, and tip all that out. And once you've got it dismantled, under no circumstances should you pour anything down the sink, because there will be no pipes there, and you'll be surprised how you forget that and then curse yourself when you do so. Okay, so error 1. I've dismantled the pipework, and then I've suddenly realised I shouldn't have done that, because the next thing I have to do, of course, is to drain the hot water tank. And 3 litres of boiling hot water, I don't really want to have in the sink, and I don't really want to have all over the cupboard. So I'm now going to have to rebuild it all again. Such a muppet. Right, so that's rebuilt again. So next thing is you turn off your Quooker, press the little Q tail, and then turn off your main supply, and then grubby stuff out of that. It's very strong. It's because the main supply is not on. Maybe I should turn on back on the main supply. That's better. Pushing it a bit harder. And they also say you should turn on the cold water at the same time. Hopefully no leaks, no. Nothing pissing out of there. Right, now we've got to wait for the hot water to drain out. Okay, so let's put a bit of cold in there as well to flush it through. Yeah, that's pretty cool now. So we can turn that off, then turn the mains off, and then turn this little thing on the top of the valve off as well. Right, so that should now have killed the water supply. Now I can take the plumbing bits apart. Yeah, I would advise you take a picture of what it looks like under there before you take it all apart. And then you've obviously caught a load of water in the bowl. Don't put it down the sink. Just chuck it out the window. Okay, having done that bit, we've now got to remove the old white canister by undoing these 2 nuts, top and bottom. Might be an idea to put a towel in the bottom of it, because you never know. Anyway, I'm going to undo both those. I think they're only a 10mm spanner, but it looks a bit bigger than that. I'll tell you when I've finished it. Yeah, definitely needed an adjustable for that. They were bigger than 19mm, so I guess they're probably 21mm as well. So yeah, now we've got the top one unscrewed. They unscrew towards you, and same on the main supply at the bottom. That's now come off as well. You'll notice that this is a male adapter, or it's been adapted with a little bit that obviously it's female there, then it goes into a male there. That bit in the end, that bit does actually unscrew, but leave it in for the time being. And yeah, we've had a bit of water come out the bottom of that as well. but we managed to catch it. So that goes out the window as well. So the next fun and games is removing the canister, which I can lift off on this bracket and just pull that out. Oh, still losing water. I've got a little helper come to have a look. Okay, Cowboy, what do you reckon? So I think the next thing, we've got to take that valve off the top. So that's going to require unscrewing that little nut there. Right, I found it easier to unhook it off the bracket so that I could actually hold it in my hand, and then I could get the spanner on the nut and undo that. So yeah, this little valve system is basically a pressure release valve. Each time the Quooker thing regens itself or fires up as it does now and again, this releases pressure and it creates a spill of water coming out of there, and that's why you have the little black pipe attached to the bottom of it, which then you'll find has gone into your outlet pipe down below. Mine leaked like a bugger, so I've had to sort of tape it up. I'm going to try and do a better job on that. So this little piece, actually, it's two separate pieces. Quooker kindly sent me a replacement part. God knows why, I didn't really need it. But anyway, that gives you an idea how it goes together. This is basically a little compression nut and thing will spin around and then attach that. I don't know whether I'm going to bother replacing that part. This one seems perfectly good to me. Hey, we got that bit on. Super tight. More white tape. And now we thread the opposite end on, and we're going to attach that to one of these. And that is then going to give us the connection, finally. Okay, we are now making progress. So the next thing is this little chap. And as you can see on here, let me get it focused, there we go, cold and an arrow. So water coming from that direction, going through here, and then it's going to be going out to the softener. So I've actually opted to go for the new one. What the hell? And I've detached it from the valve because it's probably going to make it easier to actually screw in. So let's try that. Okay. Next bit attached. Crikey, look at it all. I mean, the only thing that's slightly concerning me now is that we're fast running out of space for the actual tank to sit in. So are you going to fit in there? We've still got to put the pressure thing on as well. Right, let's try that now. Right, the last piece of the puzzle, or at least the last bit of this complicated bit, is this pressure release valve. So that's going to be mounted on there, and it's the grey handle kind of open close thing at the bottom. So now we've got to screw this one in. Right, well it looks like we've just about got enough room, although this lower piece coming off the pressure one is going to attach to the long hose of the two, so we might have to wrap it round a bit to get it out of the way. And we're going to use one of the A, B or C nuts that we were provided with. Let's have a look which one we need. So the answer to the question is we're going to need nut B, which is the one without, that's the one with the plain bit, 1/2 inch. I think it's into a 3/8 of an inch. And we're also going to need the red washer. So let's take a red washer and pop that in there as well. That goes between, okay, it goes between the pressure valve and this nut, and then the long bit goes into the back. Okay, that's on, and so now the last bit is to attach the long hose to that bit. I'm going to wrap it around the back there and then try and get it to come in pretty straight. Actually, just double checking, it doesn't seem that I've got to put any kind of washer in between that and that. So it's just that red one I had to put in there. We have to put some blue ones in the next one we do. Right, the final bit of this monkey puzzle is to connect the short lead off the softener tank to the original long lead off the hot water tank. And for that we're going to need to use another adapter nut, but only one. And the adapter nut for this piece is adapter nut A, which one was it? That's got nothing written on it. Here we go. Similar to that. So that's the one with the 1/2 inch bottom on it and then a male screw top. That was, what was it? A, yeah, that one. And we're going to need a couple of the blue washers. So, oh, great, drop the other one. Sod's law. Where's that gone? Right, found it. So that's the way around it's going to go, and it's going to go between that one and that one. Easy. Okay, nut A is complete. That should complete the circuit. So the only last thing I ought to do is to reattach this, which I'm not sure whether it's quite going to be long enough now. Anyway, that is supposed to sit on there and catch the dribbles coming out of the pressure and then go down there. The kind folks at Quooker did tell me, or warn me, that this now might be a bit low. They like to have it higher up in case there's a blockage in your downpipe from the sink, which then backs up here and starts pissing out all over the floor, but fingers crossed it won't. So the only thing we've got to do now is just check everything's done up tight and then turn the pressure back on and then stand well back. Okay, here we go. Oh, I detect some leakage already. That's down to 1. Right, let's just give that a real tight and up and see if we can stop that. Oh, this is frustrating. The thing is, you've got so many different bolts and whatever you call them, down there. You tighten one up and it loosens another, and then you go back and tighten that one up and it loosens another one. Oh, got tiny little dribbles coming out at the end there, which is really annoying. But long and short is, it is now built, so it's just a question of tightening up. Hope you have found this useful. If you do, smash the like, and I'll catch up with you next time there's a change to the Quooker.